they can. So welcome to our Wednesday night call. I am so excited to have Anthony Golle as our guest speaker tonight. For those of you that had the privilege of hearing him, 3 months ago now, he was all the way up here doing a tour all across Canada. And he has been so kind to jump back on our call and share some more of his awesome information and inspiration with us. Just a quick bit about him. He is joining us. It's actually Thursday morning over there. He is coming to us from New South Wales, Australia. He has a background in chiropractic, actually, and he's going to tell you more about that. He's married to his high school sweetheart, Kate. He has 3 kids. He loves surfing. But the favorite thing that he's ever been called is Dad. So we're so thrilled to have you on the call tonight, Anthony. Just unmute yourself and take it away. I want you to have all the time possible. Everyone else, make sure you're muted.
Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, getting nods. Awesome. So good to see so many of your faces. I can see Brandon and Kelly there and Jan and a whole bunch of you. So good to be back in front of you. For those of you who haven't heard me speak, I'll just go through a quick, it's always nice to know how people came into the business. So for me, yeah, I loved helping people. So I was a chiropractor. I studied 8 years to do that. And I thought I'd still be doing that when I'm 80. I truly loved it. But I got to a point where I thought bigger was better. And I went from 1 center to 5 very fast. And the goal was 100. And at 5, the wheels really started to fall off. We had 30 staff, and then we had a headquarters, and my dear wife really wore the brunt of all the back end stuff of that. So I got to do what I was doing, but noticed we were missing that connection and that intimate time. And then we had 3 kiddies under 5 at the time. And so that started to take its toll. And I remember a couple of things happened. One was we got a phone call early hours of the morning, probably like 4:30. And I already knew what it was because only certain people were going to call you at that time. And Kate took the call, and I saw her get out of bed and start getting ready for work. So it was one of our employees calling in sick. And so the practice was about 2 hours away, which is pretty normal for you guys. Everything's 2 hours away in Canada. I get that, but here it's not.
Oh, man.
And so, yeah, she starts getting ready for work and to make that drive. And I was just laying there thinking, what have I done? You know, there must be a better way. And then I hear my little daughter stir and her kind of fathom what's going on. And so she was probably, I don't know, maybe 2. And it's like, Mummy, where are you going? And that whole, you know, I just remember her little nails on Kate's leg, like grabbing her at the door, trying to stop her leaving for work. And so that really imprinted on my mind that I've really messed up here. This is not the way forward. And then the second incident was getting a message from my wife, Kate, and it was a little video and a message of my little boy, Bodhi, winning the running cross country at school. And so I was elated in one moment and then just really pissed off in the next because why am I watching this on a phone? I should be there. So those were going on in the background. And meantime, we'd become really dear friends with Linda Evenden. And so we knew her through a mutual friend, Lauren Lahav from the Anthony Robbins world. And so 8 years prior, Lauren had flown out here and took us to lunch, and then next thing put us on the phone call to this crazy lady named Cheryl Cortese, and it was all really weird to me. And we loved Lauren, and we even let her run a Juice Plus event in our chiropractic center, and happily, you know, referred our patients to her, but it was definitely not for us. But then meantime, our mutual friend Linda and James moved back to Australia. And obviously they had conversations with us about Juice Plus, but they never cornered us and said, you should do this. It was really, let's just be friends. And of course, we'll share what we're up to. We want to know what you're up to. And so the conversation and that relationship just built. We're really good family friends now, over about 6 years. But it was a 6-year conversation with Linda till we said yes to Juice Plus, and about 8 years for Lauren. So I want you to really take note of that, because business is relationships. And your outcome from any interaction is just to create a relationship and to be there, not to get, but to give, and to really create as much value for that person as you can. And so it's just being human first. And then the next thing is, you have a relationship with someone if you have conversations. And so it's really that simple. The person who has the most conversations in this business or in life wins. And then the next level of that is you can have lots of friends, you can have lots of good conversations, but how do you make it a quality conversation? And that's really through asking quality questions. And I find that's the biggest, my biggest takeaway. If I ever have a training or a stage, it's always what I'm going to teach. And so how do you know what questions to ask someone? You've got to know, well, what's most important to them. And so every single person has a hierarchy of values, of what's most important to them through to what's least important to them. And how do you know what their highest values are? You just ask them, what do you love to do in your spare time? What do you do for work? Do you love it? You do love it? Amazing. Well, what first got you attracted to that? What do you love about it? If they don't love it, what would you rather be doing? If you could do anything, what would you love to do? And sometimes people have stopped dreaming. You know, I like to look at everyone like they're still a little boy or a little girl, and they've still got dreams and ambitions inside of them before society's really punched it out of them, whether it's the schooling system, government system, medical system, to conform and get in this box. And so that's where, part of our role is dream keepers. It's like, no, I won't let you give up on your dreams. And you may not find them through us or what we do, but if you kind of wear that hat, and my hat, see my hat, got my Allura hat on, got my Revelstoke t-shirt, got my Puck Yeah cup. Thanks, Kelly, guys. I fully canned it up today. So I love this stuff. It reminds me of being back there. Now I forget what I was saying. So if you're having conversations with people and they're not willing to dream and get back, because why would someone step out of the norm of what life is to do this? So this is another thing I learned not that long ago. Every single decision that people make, it's based on what people will think of them. So I want you to go back for a second and think about the last car that you bought. And I think you'll realize that part of it is, what will people think of me driving this car? How would I look to those people? How would I look to my friends driving this car? How would I look to my kids? How would I look to my kids' friends driving this car? Think about what you chose to wear or what you chose to buy. Part of it was, how am I going to look in this? How am I going to look to people? How will I appear to be? So it's all about our status in front of people. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm getting just blanks to, yeah, we're right. Think about even the boyfriends or girlfriends that you've chosen, or partners or husbands or wives. Partly is, how is it going to make me feel, but how am I going to look to the people who are important to me? So when you ask someone to do a business that has a reputation, you've got to be one of those people and this was my thoughts, I don't know if you agree, but I don't want to be one of those people. You would have to be really desperate to do one of those things. That's all about, selling, and you lose friends, you lose family over it. And it's a pyramid, like all that stuff. And that's the norm of what people think of this profession. And so you're asking someone to risk their reputation and what will people think of me. They would want to have a really big dream to risk looking foolish potentially in front of their friends and family. Does that make sense? And so your ability, first of all, to shake up where they're at. So if you're not eliciting what is people's pains, what are their frustrations, there's no space for you to put in something new. And so that's where, again, the questions, what would you love to do if you could do anything? Or what are you doing for work? I do this. Do you love it? No. Oh, tell me what's going on. Oh, the boss is this. I'm getting bullied. I'm not paid what I'm worth. People take me for granted. The transit time. All of those things is what you really want to draw to the surface, because most people are in they're in a trance, because our minds are set up to go, I'm still here. I must be doing a good job. We're set up to survive. So if I'm still here, whatever I've been doing, let's not mess that up. And we push all of the things that aren't working to the back of our mind. And when we ask these questions, it brings it all to that prefrontal cortex. And now there's some disturbance. So if people aren't disturbed in what they're doing, you have no chance to give them an offer of something else. So all of your questions, well, what's frustrating you? If you could do something different, what would you do? How would that feel to you? All those questions are really important, and it helps you elicit what's their highest values. And so this is another writer-downer. People are going to say yes to this business, likely for the same reasons that you said yes to it. And you want that to be really clear to you, first of all. So if you don't know why you said yes to it, both in a positive light and a negative. I said yes to this because I want to spend more time with my kids. And the negative, I was sick of missing magic moments. And you really want a list of that. And then honestly, I think that's your entire business. Every post, every conversation, every question has got to come back to those things. So if I looked at your Facebook feed or Instagram feed, could I tell who you are? Could I tell what your pains and frustrations either are or have been, with some kind of insight to what do you do? Like an intrigue. Like I can see there's something going on there. You're speaking my language. You're talking I'm frustrated about those things too. To the point where I want to go, hey, what are you doing? Either from a point of being really vulnerable, raw, real as, I don't know if you say that there, or just inspiring on where you're headed. So people are going to say yes to this for the same reasons you have. So if you're clear with that, then you can lead people on that path. So when you're asking people questions, you're eliciting their highest values through to their lowest values. You're going to then present what this is based on their values. So if you've got a mum, with 3 kids under 3, and you're talking about how amazing this is and all of the travel that we get to do and going to all these amazing places, that may not be the right approach for that mama. But if you're talking about that we get to help mums do mum care instead of daycare, and that they can wrap this around whatever else is going on in their family, and they can do it in stolen moments between diapers and feeding, and that we can help mamas replace income so that they don't have to farm their kids and have someone else see those magic moments. Now you're speaking in that person's values. But you don't know what their values are until you ask the questions. So is the pain the same as values? Maybe the want to save the planet, but they just need to pay the mortgage. So it depends. I think people who have big visions, like I want to save the planet, I want to start an orphanage, but they can't pay their bills. I think it's good to speak to people's visions, but then when you're starting a person, you've got to break it down into bite-sized chunks, because otherwise people are paralyzed, and maybe you are as well, going, I want to change the world. Juice Plus is great, but I'm doing this so I can create an income, so I can contribute like this to this charity, for this church, to this kind of legacy. But then it's bringing back on, what do we need to do today? What's the next bonus available? What's the next title available? Who else can you help? How many people are getting to the next conference? So pain is not the same as the values, but there's a saying, your voids create your values. So in reality, nothing is ever missing. That's just not how the universe is set up. That we have perceived voids. We have perceived, my mum wasn't there for me, and now I want to be the most amazing mum. So what we perceive as missing creates our values. So does that answer that? Cool. Any questions? Because we've got about, call it 15, 20 minutes, and I really want to make sure that I know your values and what you jumped on the call for. So if you have particular questions, pop them into the chat. But I'll just keep talking about how we get people started. And so the first thing I think is, we've gone through, I don't know, about probably 4 or 5 different starter guides, right? And you go to GoPro, then you listen to MLM Nation, and then you go to another conference, you speak to someone else, and you keep adding stuff, and then you turn around and you just created this huge monster. And I think, and it paralyzes people. And so if the common thread of what people are saying when they start is, I'm overwhelmed, we probably need to go back and cut the fat. So getting people started, first of all, is get really clear on what would success look like to you. So in other words, what would be a dollar amount that would put a smile on your face in, I don't know, 30, 90 days from now? What would be a dollar amount? And if people go, I don't know, well, what would you love to do? Do you love your work? No, I don't love the work. Are you in a situation where you could actually start pulling back a day? Yeah, I work a Saturday. I hate it. Always miss the kids' sport. How much do you get paid on a Saturday? $100, $200, whatever it is. So you earn, call it $800 for the month. Is that right? It is, on Saturdays. Would that be a great goal that in a few months you could say goodbye to Saturdays? Oh my gosh, that would be incredible. What would that mean to you? How would it feel if you could be there and not have to get up and go, to work on a Saturday, and you could actually be there with your kids? You could make them pancakes. You could take them to soccer. So know the dollar amount and what it means to them. Now they're associated to what it means. Then you need to connect that back to the comp plan and go, great, this is what your business would need to look like to achieve that. And that's either in going, this is how many customers you would need with these products, or this is the first title and this is the bonus attached to it. So don't tell the comp plan for the sake of teaching the comp plan. People didn't join this to do a comp plan. They did it because there was something missing in their life that they wanted this to fill that void. And so adapt it to them. Always speaking in their values. And then once they know what's necessary, give them strategies on how to do it. And so if you said, all right, you need 8 customers, for example, why did you say yes to these products? What were you hoping to achieve? Because for us, most people start the products with the business. So they've either had a result or they haven't even got them yet. It's literally been ordered and it's coming. So they don't need to have had the result necessarily. Why did you say yes to this? What were you hoping to benefit from being on the products? Well, I'm looking for more energy. I want to get over the baby body, whatever it is. Who else do you know who's looking for something like that? Who else do you know who wants more energy? Who else is in that, post-baby trance and wants more energy, wants to lose some of the mummy fat, whatever it might be? Who do you know? And then literally get names. Once you've got the names, why would they say yes to this? What's important to them? Do you usually communicate with them on Messenger? Do you pick up the phone? How would you usually communicate with them? And then literally give them a way on how to start the conversation. And so try it on with them. So if you said to Jenny, hey, I've been thinking of you. I've just found something that I think is going to be really amazing to help with my energy. And I know last time we were chatting, you were just sharing with me how flat you've been. So I'm getting started with it. It's actually already ordered, but I thought of you. Is it something you'd be curious to take a look at? And then gauge whether that's something they would say and get them to practice with you. Don't put them in front of, don't unleash them out there without having practiced. You know what I mean? If you had, if Jeff had a salesman come on to sell cars, you wouldn't just go, oh, you got experience, go for it, mate. It's like, no, let's do some practice, because you don't want to unleash them on customers and I'm going to practice on my friends. Because is it important that those first few experiences are positive? Absolutely. And so you want to make sure that you hold their hand. And you also want to, what Eric Moray would say, is inoculate them. So if I go out and I say the conversation just how you told me to, and the person goes, oh, is it one of those things? Or is that those, magic beans? Or, oh, that's ridiculous. Or, are you having a go at me? Are you saying I'm fat? Like whatever, if I get that response back, it's like, I'm no good at this. It can turn to disaster really fast. But if you paint the road ahead, if you already tell them, now, if you just started, I don't know, racquetball, what's a sport or something over there, or a hobby that's not that popular?
Squash.
So if you just said, I've just started squash, I'm so excited, there's like this whole community, you go down, it's really intense, I love it, I get a sweat on, and you went and asked 100 of your friends, neighbors, relatives if they want to come and play squash with you, how many are going to say yes? Not many. Some will go, actually, I've been looking for something. Oh, if you're doing it, I'll do it. And so just because now you've got this amazing business and this Juice Plus, people aren't waking up today going, oh, I've always wanted to start a fruit and vegetable in a capsule business. They're just not. And I think this is where we're all excited. We're on the cool Juice Plus van, but then we go and vomit on them all the things they should do, instead of just slowing down, chilling out, and asking questions and just feeling out, where are they at? What's going on? I've been thinking of you. I've seen something. I have no idea if it could be for you, but I thought of you. Are you curious to check it out? That verbiage, what you want to be getting back is, at the very least, people go, oh my gosh, thank you for thinking of me. So really putting people and their values first. So with the first people you have them reach out to, go through the process. What's most important to them? Now, it's only a hallucination because most people don't really know each other until you start asking. But we can kind of go, well, do they have kids? Do they love them? All right, let's put family there. What do they spend most of their time doing? What do they do on weekends? And lead with that, but not calling up and going, assuming that's important. So sometimes it's just starting the relationship first and having that long-term view. Sometimes people start and they're like, I just want to have a product experience first. And I don't shut that down. Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great decision. So many people say that. Could I ask you a question though? If a movie was coming out and it looked amazing, and you just straight away, you thought of 3 or 4 girlfriends, you go, I'd love to go to the movies and see that movie with them. Would you go watch the movie first just to make sure it was good? And then once you know it's good, then you would call them and go, hey, I've watched this. It's amazing. Let's go see it together. Or because they know that it's you, because you're going, you watch the preview. You might have even sent them the preview, the trailer. Will they probably go to the movies just because you are and you all get on together? And people say yes. And it kind of starts to break up their beliefs that I have to have a product experience in order to recommend this. Because you could actually go to that movie and it sucked. And they're not going to be upset with you, or you might think it sucks and they actually loved it. And that's what I tell people as well. You have the ability, this product is going to help hundreds, even thousands of people that you know through other people. And to risk it helping someone else of whether you have a benefit from it or not, we're not taking this for you to grow back an arm or a leg. Now, likely will it increase your energy? Likely will it improve your digestion? Yeah, there's research to show it. We've got hundreds of stories in a preview group with people doing that. But really, we have no idea what it's going to do in your body. And even if it doesn't have any symptomatic change, you get that fruit and vegetables, hands down, is the best prevention there is. In fact, every day that you don't have enough fruit and veg, your body is left depleted, and then you're prone to the nasties because your immune system's deficient. All of your defenses are down if it doesn't have the basic building blocks. And so for the first 4 months, it's really about just topping up your stores back to where you should be. So for us, do we get lots of people have results in that first 4 months? Of course, but I wouldn't expect it. Now, the second shipment, the second 4 months, even the third one, that's where you're going to get so much of the benefit. But this isn't something that you would start for now and then go, I tried that. Unless miraculously by taking this, then you start eating that much fruit and veg and that kind of variety. So I think that's the other important thing, to manage people's expectations around the product, and that this is a long-term game. So how do you move team quickly? You don't. You just don't. The numbers are the numbers. And so 1 in 5 people do anything. If you look at most big businesses, 50 to 70% of their volume comes through one person. I know that's true for any businesses I've looked at in Juice Plus or outside of it. And I always just come back to that, because I came into this, into Juice Plus with a big personal development background, and I just thought I could personal development everyone and I could get them to move. And you can't. You just can't. People will be inclined to, something will pop. Some do it from the start. We had a girl, Jess Strauss, I think she's going to Sacramento. If she does, she will be floored. She's just the Australia's youngest NMD. So just on 22 years old. And she, 6 months prior to starting Juice Plus, she was an ice addict. So she was literally, one hit away from dead. And then had a significant event happen, broke that, moved away from that crowd, saw a post on Facebook, started this. 2 years later, she's NMD, and the rest is history. But we had her speak at our boot camp a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, the first bonus, we call it SDVF, I missed that. The second bonus, DVF, I missed that bonus. SDVF, I missed that bonus. SC, I missed that bonus. And then she still got to NMD. And so the reason I say that is you don't know when someone's going to pop. They might start off really fast and then flop. And then they're going, gone. You've got other people, they're just there. They're part of the community. They're like a glorified customer. They don't really bring anyone on, and then they get divorced or something happens. And they're like, right, I'm all in. So again, you can't move team quickly. It's just love people where they're at. Always make them feel at home. Always make them feel like this is a community that's got their back, that they've got friendships here that will last forever, that many of the friendships they form in here will be way deeper than family. And the ones that are going to pop are going to pop. So that's my unglorified tip on that. So the way that you move your organization fast is have more 1 in 5s. How do you do that? You just have more of the 5s. You've just got to have more conversations and start more people. So I'm not sure if our structures are the same in Australia. You've got to have 5 SC legs. And ours is a little bit different. You need 360,000 points accumulated within a 9-month period. So I think our volume requirements are a little bit higher than you guys. But I just tell people, if you need 5 good legs, means you really need 6, because you'd hate for, as you're going for an MD, one of them to drop away. So you need 6 good legs. If 1 in 5 people do anything, you need 30. If you don't have 30 front line, just go keep recruiting. And don't stop till you do. And this is the thing. It could take you literally 2 months to get your 30 front line. It could take you a year, 2 years, 10 years. But the closer that you recruit your 30 front line in time, do you think they're more likely to stick at it or less? Compared to if you're starting people in dribs and drabs over the course of a long time. The faster you start people and you move people together as a class, and that's why I'm a big fan of doing what I'd call a recruiting blitz, where that's your sole focus. It's probably true for you guys. Do all of your existing team have access to all of the resources you do? They have access to all the trainings. They have access to all the calls. They have full access. So if they're going to go, they'll go. The only reason you really need to be on your existing team's calls is if they're putting people in front of you. So if your front line is putting potentials in front of you and you're there for that 3-way call to edify them, to get them started in the business, to give that third-party validation, which is really like a 20-minute call, the rest of your week should really just be on recruiting. And then in your stolen moments, which I mean, turn the TV off, don't listen to the radio. That's where you're listening to podcasts, some personal development, but personal development for the sake of it. Again, this is the guy who wanted to personal development everyone. people go off on this tangent. I'm reading this book, I'm doing this course so that I can have enough belief to go do the business. No, just go speak to 10 people today and you'll grow. You'll have a lot of personal development to do that. And then your business might grow as well. Whereas if you just go read a book today, you might grow, but if you don't exercise what you learned, you're not going to grow and your business definitely won't. So what I love about this model of business is do the actions, you will grow. You can't not, because the way this universe is set up is, sorry, I'm going to go a little deep to finish this. And those of you who heard me speak, you've heard it before. We're here to become whole and complete. We're here to love every single part of ourselves. And so God, the universe, whatever you want to label it, is going to continually hold the mirror up. Continually put people in front of you that reflect your disowned parts. And so as you go speak to more people and they might challenge you, you call it, I got rejected. No, they just challenged a part of who you are. And that's an opportunity to either strengthen your values and what you stand for, or to be shaky and stand for nothing. So the more people you go speak to, you will surely grow. And it's the only way to grow the business. So find a situation, find a way where you can have more conversations with more people more often. More conversations. Now, the more conversations you have, the better you get at having them. The more opportunities you get to ask questions. The more opportunities people can give you feedback, either good or not good. The not goods are just as good because you know that one didn't work. I need to change my approach. So even if you're really crap at this, have more conversations and you'll get better and better at the skill set. And then have a long-term view. You know, I think you guys got that right. The challenge right now in Australia, if people aren't going NMD in like a year, 2 years tops, they're just dropping out. They're just thinking they're not good at this. And they're good people because there's this whole culture of fast is the way. And I don't know, where else are you going to earn 80 to 100 grand in stolen moments in another job? But they did this, but they're comparing themselves to people who did it fast. So just making sure, again, you inoculate people and going, even if it took you 8-10 years to get to where you want, if you don't do it this way, is there another way? Do you have something else on offer? No, I don't. Well, let's just stick to this one and do it really, really well. Because otherwise people are going to look at the next shiny object, the next company, and, you know, the more people are distracted, they're not in action, they're not in focus. So I might wrap it up there. Hopefully there's a few nuggets for you guys to take away. If anyone has any more questions, I'll stay on and chat through.
That was so good, Anthony. Your tips, just, I don't want to say common sense, but just keeping it so simple. Just ask more questions. And I always think I ask questions, and when I'm just about to share, I think, no, I got to ask one more question. That's sort of my personal rule, to just dig a little deeper, because it's amazing. I find on social media what people will tell you. You don't even know them. And then they'll say, oh, sorry, I just had to rant. I guess because they don't know you, they'll just feel free to share so much information. So yeah, just ask those questions. And the frog, right? You're familiar with that acronym, like the where you're from and all that stuff. It's just so simple to start those questions. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, great. Anyone have any questions? They love you. Lots of accolades here. Any questions? What verbiage would you use, Anthony, after you say to somebody, oh, do you love what you do? And they say, oh, yeah, I love it. I'm getting a lot of that. And then you'll say, great. What do you love about it? And then if they say, whatever, where do you go from there?
What do you love to do on weekends? What do you love to do in your spare time? Where's your next holiday? Because they might, if you ask me, what do you do? I'm a chiropractor. You love it? Love it. What do you love to do in your spare time? Kite surf, travel. Oh yeah, do you get to do that much? No. Where's your next holiday? Don't have one booked. If I could show you a way to create something, maybe some kind of side hustle that could free up some of your time to do more travel, would you be curious to take a look? I can't say no. You know what I mean? So work first, and then what do you love to do on weekends? What do you love to do in your spare time? Do you have hobbies? That kind of thing. That's always the second tier if people love what they do. If someone loves what they do, it doesn't mean there's not parts of it they don't love. I loved adjusting people. I loved presenting. But I'd rather be on holiday with my kids. I'd rather be going on adventures with them. I just didn't know that that was possible to do and get paid, right? So it's just, is that helpful?
Yep, that's great. Anyone
Cool.
else? Anyone else getting any sort of common, let's say, objections, or you get stuck that you want to ask for some verbiage?
Give me tough ones. Give me examples, or even if you want to unmute yourself and just ask, how are you, Alona? I got to thank you guys because I didn't know what Teamsy was until I went to Canada. And then when we stayed with Alona, her and Shani, so our whole team is just beside themselves loving Teamsy. If you guys aren't using it to its capacity, do it. It fits our system of what we've taught so well, and it just keeps people accountable. So thank you for that.
Question. So
Shoot.
Do you guys do live events?
We've gone from, so for the first 3 years, we had a live Thursday night event, and I didn't miss it ever, unless I wasn't here or in the country. Then we outgrew a living room, so we went to a venue, and then that was kind of hard to find a venue that still had that. We would set the home up in a way where people would walk in and it's like you had me at hello. We had the right music, there was red wine, there was conversation, we knew exactly how we wanted to make people feel. And it helped that our community and the people in there were just loving, wanted to help people. So when it moved to a bar, to a corporate room, it just didn't have the same feel. So definitely tapered off. Then Zoom came along, and so it was doing a lot more Zooms, lots and lots of Zooms. And then we didn't do a live event for a good year. Then we incorporated it back again last August. And we literally just stopped it again because it just wasn't having the traction. It was actually, we just weren't into it. So what we've done now is we've gone to a once a month event. It's on a Saturday. It's called Super Saturday. And it goes for, call it 2/3 of the day. And so it has some product training. It has recognition. It has a business opportunity event. It has a guest speaker. So there's lots of different things that you would invite potentials to, team get to, customers could come to. So we're doing that once a month now. And then we'll start doing that Australia-wide in all of the capital cities or wherever there's a gathering of us.
So it's all in one. Training, opportunity, everything.
Pretty much.
And you don't do any educational talks, health talks kind of thing.
So within Juice Plus company doesn't, and that's in part because our governing body for health practitioners, we can't say anything about anything. And so it would need to be just distributors doing it. looking at our stats, there's definitely some stuff we can learn from you guys. Your number of customers you have per rep kicks our butts. Your retention of customers kicks our butts. Our cancellations suck. And so we're looking at how do we bridge that gap. So for us personally, in our team, for Tribal Wellness, every month we do a webinar for customers. And it'll be on nutrition, it'll be on detox, it'll be on hormones, it'll be that, and then how the product benefits that, and maybe a part of the research that supports it. But we're definitely looking to implement somehow what you guys do as having a lot stronger product and health in general education.
Cool.
Kaylee, just moved to a new town, hosting my first event this weekend on how to bring up products and business with new people. Do you mean at the event or to invite them to get to the event?
Hey, no, I have people coming. I just don't know how to bring it up. Like they're all kind of new friends that I've just met.
Cool. Do they know what they're coming to?
Not a salad jar party.
Got it. I have no experience with that. We've never done a salad jar party. I'm sure someone else on the line has. Who has?
Where's
Yeah,
Jen Brennan? There she is.
Yeah, Anthony. Kaylee and I have been, sorry I don't have much of a voice. We've been going back and forth. Basically, she's in a new area. We're just doing an in-home event to start, but she's just met this group of people and she doesn't want to be like, blah, you're coming to my house for Juice Plus. So we've been talking back and forth. I said, maybe just don't say anything the first time. Just like you said, build relationships and kind of go from there because it's literally a brand new town that she's in.
Yeah. So I think you can feel it out. I don't know if you guys have ever said, I would have done it when I was over there, but it's the whole, see that? Not really. I'll explain it. So you've got your highest values through to your lowest values. And then the person you're talking to, they've got their highest values through to their lowest values. And so if you kind of subordinate to them going, oh, we're just going to do everything that you guys love, I'm not going to talk about what I love, then that's being careful. Or if you get there and you're like, hey guys, this is Juice Plus, it's amazing, you should do this. And so it's all about your highest values with no regard for what's important to them. That's being careless. But if you can ask questions, find out. Now, if they start talking about, man, I struggle to eat well, I just wish there was something that was simple. I'm taking these supplements, I don't even know if they're working. And that's important to them, of course you're going to share. And so that's being caring. So I wouldn't, you don't have permission. You want to ask lots of questions first. But you can definitely have, why wouldn't you make some smoothies and just say, hey, I made these smoothies up. Why wouldn't you have, like for me, I've just moved because I'm about to run out of power, but our Juice Plus is, on the cupboard. So why wouldn't you just have it out on the cupboard and people might go, oh, what's this? Or, oh, I've seen this. You know what I mean? So there's still a way to introduce it. But yeah, if you said, I'd love these women to be on my team or to be benefiting from the products, if it's just that, in salads, I don't know what you do, but I think to feel it out, just to feel it out and see what the vibe is. But definitely be open to sharing on the day. Particularly if you're asking them, what do you guys do anyway? Oh, we do this, we do that. Let's do this. Can you unmute yourself? Ready? So I'm one of the girls. So Kaylee, what do you do anyway? What brings you here to this town?
Sorry, you're
Oh,
freezing on my screen.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah,
Can
it's
you hear me?
saying internet connection's unstable.
So I'll ask again. So I'm one of the women at your salad in a jar party.
Yeah.
And I say to you, what do you do anyway? What brings you to this town?
Well, my husband and I decided to move up here to enhance our quality of life and spend more time together as a family, and just for an active outdoor lifestyle. That's all I would say.
So let's work on that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every conversation, the number one thing I want someone to ask me is, what do you do?
Okay.
That's my outcome of every conversation, that it gets asked somewhere. And so part of asking people lots of good questions about them is you want them to turn around and ask questions about you. And if they're a nice person, they will.
Okay.
And so how would I know that you have this amazing online program and product, and that you can help people with their energy and their health and well-being, and you can help people create income and do more of the stuff that they love?
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would just say that I'm part of an online wellness program company, and we have these awesome products that simplify healthy eating. I guess I'll work on it before Sunday.
Of course. So I want everyone listening to this to work on it. You've got to know your one-liner or one-liners. And so if you said, we moved here because we realized, our lifestyle is the most important thing. Do you have kids?
Yeah, 2 kids.
We wanted to be there with our kids. We wanted to just break the norm of society.
Yeah.
So we love it here. But I was also looking for a way that I could do something online. So yeah, we've got this cool little online business as well. Help people generate income online.
Okay. Perfect.
Then zip it.
Okay.
And you already know what you're saying, and you're just looking at their body language. And if they're like, oh, leaning in, or they go, oh, how do you do that? Now, if they start talking about who won the hockey on the weekend, or, oh, gee, how's the snow forecast? You have no permission to go further.
Okay.
But if they're leaning in, now you've got to decide whether you are going to start talking about that on the day, or you go, yeah, if you're curious, I'll just send you on Facebook. Yeah, I'll just send you something.
Okay.
So you can be really aloof. And I find that's the best.
Okay.
Because then you're not trying to sell anything. You already know what you're doing. And if they're curious, so this is how my conversation usually goes. And it might be in the surf. I might have met someone. What do you do? Used to be a chiropractor, but now I've got an online business. Help people create income online so they can do more of the stuff they want, like surf in the middle of the day. How do you do that? Oh, if you want, I can send you something. You on Facebook? Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Look me up, or give me your phone. I'll search me. And then that night, I'll just send, hey, great to connect today. Hope you got some good waves, whatever. Make a general comment first. And then, let me know if you're curious to take a look at what we're up to. Then I'm getting a double yes. And then they go, yeah, what's it all about? If you want, I can send you a link. It'll explain it way better than I do. Just looking at my week, if I send it today, I want to make sure I've got some time to see if it's something for you or how it could work for you. I'm free Monday. So if I send it today, would you watch it by Monday? Yeah, I can do that. Cool. I'll flick it through. I'll give you a call Sunday night. Just confirm a time. That piece there can be really awkward, but way less awkward than you send the link and then you check back in a day. How'd you go? Haven't watched it. Check in again. How'd you go? Yeah, haven't seen it yet. And now you're making up all sorts of stories. Have they watched it? Do they like me? Do they not like me? Am I going to invite to the next party? So try and get the time that you're going to follow up before you send the link. And then on Sunday night, send a message. Hey, Jen, just checking in. I've got 10 o'clock tomorrow. Looking forward to see what you like best about what I sent you. So it presupposes that they've watched it. Now, if they don't, if they send, oh gosh, weekend's been crazy, no stress, I'm free Wednesday. Okay, yep, I'll watch it before then. Great. So try and get that outcome first. Is that helpful?
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
All right, guys. Speaking of surfing, I'm going to go. There's a big cyclone hitting this side of Australia. So, yes, have a look at it on the news. It's going to be a little bit crazy, but that's all good.
It's good for surfers, right?
Yeah, and for a kite surfer. I'm going to go, Kel and Jeff, I got your message. Let's connect in the next day or so. See you guys.
Thank you. You're awesome.